Hello, and welcome to the Cosmic Force vlog. I'm Mark, and I like Star Wars a whole bunch. So much so, in fact, that I have put together this rewatch of all 8 saga films leading up to The Rise of Skywalker in December. And I'm not doing it alone either. I have also roped in my wife, Stephanie, and our good friend and roommate, Matt, to join in the experience and record our thoughts and findings. So today we're going to be watching A New Hope, or as it was released in 1977, Star Wars. Just Star Wars, because they didn't think they were going to get the chance to do follow-ups. And yeah, it's my favorite movie in the saga. It probably will always be. So we're going to pass it over to these guys with some questions and thoughts going into the rewatch, and then we're going to jump into it and then catch up after the movie with our responses. So yeah, we'll see you guys then. So guys, here we are. We're getting ready to watch A New Hope, the first Star Wars ever.
Finally, the portion of this that I wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the better part of the... Well, no, I like the new movies too, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we
The
needed to
OG
just get through the
ones.
prequels to get to this.
Well, I love them all, but A New Hope is still like my number one favorite of all of them. It's where it all began. It's the seed that, broke open and grew, and it was just full of everything Star Wars. Everything that we needed about this universe is all contained in there.
And this is your favorite one, right?
Yeah, number one favorite of all 8 thus far saga films, and all 10 everything.
And when this was made, there were no computer-generated effects. It was all miniatures, puppets, great editing and comp work to create these effects that we grew up with. So it was just an amazing feat that was performed by ILM at the time that they did this. And plus some great performances, an introduction to a new type of villain, Darth Vader,
Mm-hmm.
something on screen that had never really been seen before. Yeah.
Oh man, Darth Vader, what a cool villain. Like, I remember in all the artwork that I saw for Star Wars when I was like a young kid, right around the time when my mom first brought home the VHS cassettes from the rental store, I just see this big picture of Darth Vader, not unlike what I've got here on my shirt. Just this big picture of Darth Vader's sinister looking helmet overseeing all the action, and like these young people, like the specter, just hanging over everything. The iconography in this movie, mwah, chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Just something about the practical effects and the zero digitalness of it is just it's a place you can actually visit or live in. It just seems more real instead of with the prequels. It looks like you're watching kind of a cartoon. It just seems like a simulation. It doesn't feel like a world as much as the original trilogy does.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I kind of feel like they both create worlds, but it's a very different look. It's almost akin to seeing a vlog footage now of people on Venice Beach surfing or skateboarding or something versus World War II era footage where it's black and white. It just has a different look. It looks like a different thing entirely, a different world, a different technology, a different I don't know, windows into different worlds, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that this is your favorite?
I think it is.
Yeah.
It's maybe a coin toss between this one and The Emperor Strikes Back or The Empire Strikes Back, but definitely up there. This could be just one step above for me.
Uh-huh.
Even though The Empire Strikes Back was a fantastic movie, and most fans out there and critics will say it's the better of the saga.
Mm-hmm.
But this it's a touch relatable, to see this young teenager essentially being shanghaied into, by some crazy old man into fighting this for this rebellion after his family gets murdered. He's drawn into this world almost against his own will. As much as he wants to go off and become a pilot, he's kind of submitting to his Uncle Owen, who's like, no, you're going to stay on for another harvest, and we'll talk about the academy next year. But then all of a sudden, they get killed because of these 2 droids they just bought, which they just didn't know were being hunted, and then boom, Ben Kenobi's like, well, now you got no choice. You're coming with me, and I'm going to teach you everything I know about the Force, and you're going to fight the Empire. But unlike everybody else who's fighting the Empire, you're going to fight them in a different way. And it's this very romantic coming-of-age story for this.
It really is. Romantic is
boy.
the word for this movie. Not in like a love romance, but yeah, it's the whole thing is just so romantic.
Is this the movie with the most R2-D2? Isn't it? Like,
Maybe.
This is like... That's one reason why I love this movie. It's kind of like...
These guys get a lot of quality screen time.
Yes, and I love every second of it. Obviously I love R2-D2 more, but he's cool too. It's kind of like the OG Wally. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They didn't need words.
Yeah.
He had a ton of personality. Just beep, boop, 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 boop.
Mm-hmm. You bring up actually one of my favorite things about A New Hope. One of my favorite things about my favorite Star Wars movie, which is we get to see like the sweetest side of C-3PO throughout the film. There's like early on in the film, there's like, he and R2 famously get separated in the Dune Sea, and then when they find each other again on the Jabba's sandcrawler, he's like, R2? And he like goes over there and he's like, R2-D2, it is you. And every time my heart's just like, oh, like he didn't mean those words he said in the desert,
Yeah, he was just cranky because he was scared.
Yeah.
So, that made me like him more when he actually showed that he cared.
Yeah. And then at the very end, after Darth Vader shoots R2-D2 in Luke's X-Wing, and Luke and R2 make it back, and R2 is just a hot mess, smoke and sparks and everything, and C-3PO is just like, oh, good God, if any of my parts or circuits will help, like, I'll gladly donate... Maybe he doesn't say good God, but he's like, I'll gladly donate my parts to save him. And I love that. It's like you get to see C-3PO's sincerest feelings toward R2, and that's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of great performances in this particular episode. And I think it was because everybody who was involved in it also thought that this was going to be the only one.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
And it was still early on in George Lucas's career where he was probably giving better directorial critique instead of just, faster, more intense.
Ask Mark Hamill. That was the big direction on this one too.
Wow. Well, they knew how to work with that.
But I get it. Like you listen to some of the lines, and you don't want like a method reading of the line like, but I was going to go into Tashi Station to get power converted. You just want something like, but I was going to go into Tashi Station to get some power convert. It's just, you've got to make this nonsense dialogue just go fast.
I remember watching a behind the scenes something, and then since it was the first one and no one knew how big it was gonna be, a lot of the actors were like, man, this is weird, what are we doing? I don't understand this, this is the weirdest sci-fi movie ever. To them it was probably Zordoff, or what is it called? Zardoz, or it was probably like Logan's Run. They're just like, is this like a weird
Sir Alec Guinness famously was like, what am I doing here? What has my career become? He had no patience for this sci-fi wizard nonsense.
And imagine how Carrie Fisher felt when she was told she couldn't wear a bra because there were no bras in space.
No underwear in space.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. It's
a good excuse to get them.
Yeah. And then the whole controversy that came after this film about how Greedo fired before Han Solo.
Oh man! Don't even get us started with the special editions.
Han Solo shot first.
In fact, Han Solo fired the only shot.
Yeah,
Greedo never even fired off a shot.
There was only one shot.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Lucas remastered it when all of a sudden there was that second shot, very horribly placed.
And then Han does that awkward
yeah,
dodge.
Oh.
Funny thing, speaking of special editions, while we are watching A New Hope today, we are not watching the special edition. We are watching the Adywan Revisited cut, which is, look it up. It's too much to go into right now, but it's exquisite. It's great.
But like it has like none of like the CG added stuff, right?
It has some, but kind of tastefully blended in rather
it's
than
less
just kind of
jarring.
like, hey, I'm new.
Like
you
that
know?
scene in Most Isolates, they don't have that giant creature walking right in front
Right.
of the camera in
Yeah.
the middle of a dialogue shot. No, they got rid of that, but there's those still few extra creatures in the background. Or they cleaned up the matte lines from the spaceships flying through space. And
Yeah, how they market Adywan Revisited cuts of the movies is what the special editions should have been. And to like 98% of the time, I agree. Yeah, like these are good decisions.
Whereas like is this like pre-Muppets or the Muppets older? I think the Muppets are more older.
I think the
than
Muppets.
this.
were
Yeah,
older,
I
I was
think
gonna say because it's like the technology's nuts for puppets.
Mm.
Well, and they both came out of Jim Henson Studios. The puppets for Star Wars as well as the Muppets came out of Jim Henson.
Oh.
So, and you know, cheers to you, Jim Henson. Some amazing puppet work in this film, and I'm loving that your legacy still carries on even today with you know, the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. But we're not going to go into that today. Is Star Wars.
Oh, one last thing about these Adywan cuts. Gone is Greedo shooting. Gone is Jabba the Hutt, you know, before his reveal in Return of the Jedi. Gone is the giant Ronto stuff. All the Mos Eisley stuff when they're driving through, that's just kind of like, I don't care for that. All of it's gone. It's just a very smooth movie-going experience.
And a lot of color correction that really helps a lot in this, and you know, made it just that much better in my opinion.
And more white balance too, because I feel like it was like very orangey,
orange and pink,
pink, and then they made it so like more balanced in that way.
So it's good. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's it elevates A New Hope even more than how great it already is.
Well, I guess we don't really have to recap on like what we remember about it, because we've all seen it kind of recently.
Yeah, this is one that's kind of like it lives out here and it lives in here. You know?
I'm not going into it with any expectations because I've seen it 100 times. Yeah. I know exactly how it's gonna go.
So I guess in the afterwards we can just talk about things we haven't noticed before.
Yeah, if there's anything I haven't noticed.
So, all right, you guys ready to do this?
Yes.
Y'all ready? I'm ready. You guys ready? Let's do it. Let's watch A New Hope.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
So we did it. We just finished watching A New Hope, the Adywan's Revisited edition. And what are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, it looked really good. I mean, it's always a good movie. Sorry, you want to say something?
I actually wanted to, praise the additional sound design that was added to it. There was a lot of different elements added that I thought really enhanced each scene.
Oh, interesting.
And, because I haven't seen this particular cut, or I don't remember having seen this particular edit before. So I did like that. I noticed a few extra scenes of extended dialogue, like the dialogue with Biggs in the hangar before they go out for the battle. So yeah, but nothing took away from the already pre-existing footage when they extended it out.
Right.
So
yeah.
It everything that they did was really enhanced it, and I thought it was really well done.
Who would have thought that A New Hope would still play without that Jabba scene? You know, like...
Well, I did. That was how we saw it at the beginning, before the remaster.
No, of course, yeah.
It was nice to not see any weird digital stuff.
Well, I mean, there is still stuff where it's just like, hey, this wasn't made in the 70s.
Not glaring.
Not glaring, exactly.
It wasn't in your face atrocious.
Yeah, the cut is out there.
If I were to make my edition, I'd cut out that one, devil dude. Like, that 2-second guy. Or to take a clip of that guy at the bar just like smiling with his like horns.
Yeah, he just like stiffly turns, just like. Eh.
So the devil lives in space. You know?
Yeah. Learned something new from you that Darth Plagueis was a specific alien that we see. Yeah, in the Mos Eisley Cantina. They're the ones playing the musical instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So
Darth Plagueis was one of those?
Yep.
Just imagining like a person.
They have something like 2 or 4 hearts. And Bith are still people. They might not be humans, but person can be a non-human characteristic. Think just like what the Indonesians have given to dolphins. Non-human personhood. It's a thing.
So yeah, that was A New Hope. Always enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing with A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Both those I can watch either of them at any time. Just like drop into a room like, hey, you guys watching New Hope, watching Empire? Just like plop. Where are we? Like I don't even ask. Where are we? I know where we are.
So. Yeah, looking forward to the next one, Empire. That's going to be, like you just said, always enjoyable to watch too. So
we're watching the Adywan Revisited version of Empire as well, and you haven't seen this one yet, Steph.
And I don't think I have, or at least don't know if I have.
Well, I know that you caught at least a part of it with me, and like we were just talking about, where you just sit down and you're like,
yeah,
like I'm in it. You remarked just from what you saw that you were like, oh wow, this is like, even though they didn't make a lot of changes in the special edition back in the 90s, this Adywan Revisited cut is incredible for Empire Strikes Back. He shot new original things for Dagobah, like that he handmade, new sets for Hoth. There's a lot of like cool stuff to kind of ooh and ah over with this. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So do you guys have any like big striking takeaways from this particular viewing?
Well, I did watch it super recently before,
yeah, that's
so
true.
I mean, it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, for me, the difference between like the old school ones and the new school, or the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the difference is like the Disneyland rides, where it's like the animatronics and it's like looks real, versus like, Universal Studios, everything's like the 3D digital.
Yeah, you put on the glasses when you go on the ride.
Yeah, it's like one is like feels tactile and is like fun and like more my speed.
Yeah.
And the other one's just like, it's craziness. It's like, stop.
Yeah, the other ones can accomplish these crazy feats, like the Simpsons ride at Universal.
Yeah,
not to slam the Simpsons ride. It's a fine ride.
I don't like that. It's too much. It's too much.
But yeah, it's just like it can do these crazy things, but it's also kind of, there's an unrealistic element to it that kind of keeps you out of being immersed in it.
Yeah, you're not immersed.
The Harry Potter ride is an excellent one, though.
Yeah, that one is a good blend of the two.
Mm.
It's like spiders are like, like
yeah.
I don't think I have any big takeaways from this viewing. It's exactly what it's always been to me. Wonderful, fun to watch, and I didn't learn anything new in the story, or really see anything that was like, oh, I completely forgot about that. It was just, watching one of those movies that I've always enjoyed since I was a little kid.
Just never stops being good.
It's like a McDonald's hamburger. If you like them, you're in luck, because they're always going to taste exactly the same. But the good version of that with this. And
then I knew this guy's backstory.
R5 over here.
It was like a short story.
It's a sweet backstory.
Shout out to Ray Carson, who actually compiled the file on our friend R5 here for the collected volume.
Book of short stories in.
Wait. Okay. From a certain point of view. Ray Carson, who actually is also writing the novel adaptation of The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
So yeah, woo, cool author. Yeah,
but he gave his life.
That bad motivator scene that happens when the droids are being sold to the Lars family at the beginning of the movie.
That's you. That's where you come from.
Protocol. Why, it's my primary
R5's bad motivator scene was totally intentional.
Mm-hmm.
To help R2 in his purpose to help aid the rebellion and defeat the Empire. It's a beautiful little short story that you never see coming, don't expect, and it's just like,
R5 is a hero! More than the galaxy understands.
Oh, and then you mentioned in the ceremony, well, you look like you've been there.
Oh, yes, the
ceremony outfit. They added a
medal
medal for Chewbacca.
Yeah, in this cut of the film, Chewbacca gets one of the medals of Yavin during the ceremony.
Why wouldn't they give him one in the before?
That is true. Like how? Wow.
I mean, I'm sure Chewbacca didn't care. It's like Joaquin when Joaquin didn't win the Oscar for The Master, like he should have back when Daniel Day got it for Lincoln. That was Chewbacca. Chewbacca was just like, I don't even care. I don't even need to go to the ceremony. Like, you guys go. You're all human.
But Daniel Day-Lewis didn't work on the same production with...
oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so this was one of those, like, he was Han Solo's co-pilot. Without him, that would not have happened.
Yeah.
It's important that they did that.
And also, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
C-3PO and R2-D2 didn't get any medals. I know they're like droids.
R2 got commended by the Queen of Naboo when he saved their little starship from escaping Naboo.
Remember? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Commended.
He got a special commendation.
They should have maybe not medals, but some kind of ribbon or something.
Well, they were present at the ceremony.
Like an upgrade.
They were on the stage.
They were on the stage. Yeah, that says something.
They were on the stage.
But I was gonna say, speaking of Chewbacca, this reminds me of a thing that I first thought of when I was watching Revenge of the Sith last week, but forgot to mention in the after commentary. Chewbacca meets Yoda, right, during the Clone Wars. And many people just disregard it as just like, it's just fan service, you're just pandering, you're giving us just these connections, like, oh, I get it, I recognize that thing. But no, there's more to it. There's substance there, I believe, in that Obi-Wan's first point of contact when he goes to the Mos Eisley Cantina to find them safe passage off planet is Chewbacca, a Wookiee who has worked with the Jedi, the long fabled Jedi who nobody seems to have ever seen. Chewbacca has actually worked with them before, and when he sees, oh, this guy needs help, the Jedi were all wiped out, or so I thought. We gotta help him, Han. Let's help this Jedi guy,
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history. But yeah, I thought that was like a cool reason to actually show us that in Revenge of the Sith, and it comes back into play in this movie. Also, C-3PO, we get to see him at his sweetest throughout the whole thing. I love that. Every time I see it, it melts my heart.
Yeah, he's just a presence in the second one. Entertaining, but you get a real sweet emotion behind him.
Well, he also acts, in Empire, he acts as foreshadowing when they first get to Bespin and everything seems hunky-dory.
Mm-hmm.
And then he enters that place and they're like, stop, who are you? And he's like, oh, terribly sorry. And then he gets shot and we're like, some Imperial wickedness is afoot.
Or at least some crap is going down,
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where?
In Bespin? Cloud City?
Oh, okay, sorry, you're not talking about New Hope.
No, that's Empire.
You're right.
Yeah, we'll cover that in the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I did notice this time was when Darth Vader is fighting Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan disappears, and how Darth Vader's like, what the? And he just puts his foot on the road, just what is this?
Did he shrink?
Yeah, did he shrink? Did the rapture happen? What is this?
Well, he does that in the original theatrical version as well, but yeah, it's a lot of that what the?
It freaked him out because at that point in Jedi knowledge, Anakin had no idea that you can just disappear
when you die. A Force ghost or nothing. He didn't know about that. He
was like, Qui-Gon was a great Jedi, and when he died, there was a corpse. We burned it. It was a whole thing.
Yep.
But I just like how Darth Vader's mind was blown.
Yeah.
He didn't think anything can surprise him.
That's gonna be a great meme. Mind blown.
Just like the idea of him thinking maybe he shrunk. Are you in there?
Oh.
New headcanon.
Okay.
Darth Vader's first assumption.
I'm good now.
Is that he's drunk?
Yeah.
I guess that's the one that would come to mind first. Like, not that he's gone, but like, is he little?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So tune in next week when we watch Empire Strikes Back together. I'm really excited because I love this revisited cut of that. And anything else?
Great movie, looks amazing, lighting's on point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there we are. That was A New Hope. You've heard our thoughts on it. I love it. It's my favorite Star Wars, closely followed by every other Star Wars movie. So yeah, you've heard our thoughts. Please feel free to jump in, weigh in the comments. We'd love to know what you think. Let us know your thoughts on the revisited editions, or there's also Harmy's Despecialized edition out there, which is... And tune in next week when we watch Empire Strikes Back, one of the greatest sequels ever made, and probably my second favorite Star Wars. I mean, they always kind of shift around, but it's a lot of people's favorite, and for good reason, because it is incredible. Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, looks like that's all the time we have for today, so until next time, folks, good journey, and may the Force be with you.